London's fog doesn't just hide the streets. It hides something that's still alive beneath the city. The mist over the Thames doesn't just hide the water. It hides the screams of a century that refused to die. Dive into today's story. Come on. History isn't written in ink. It's written in a rhythmic, pulsing decay that even the Great Fire of London couldn't burn away. What you are about to hear is the anatomical dissection of a nightmare. A secret history of the Order of the Carrion that the textbooks were too terrified to print. The year was 1888. While the world looked for Jack the Ripper in the alleys of Whitechapel Drive, Elias Thorne found something far worse. Hidden 60 feet beneath the ruins of Old St. Paul's Cathedral, he discovered a chamber not built of stone, but of calcified human bone. The air inside didn't smell like a grave. It smelled like copper and burning ozone. Inside, he found a corpse sitting upright. Its ribcage was opened like a cabinet. Its lungs and heart had been replaced with intricate brass clockwork gears made of human teeth. And the terrifying part? The gears were still turning, clicking in a rhythmic biological beat. Elias found a leather-bound ledger hidden inside that hollow chest. It didn't contain the names of petty criminals or street thugs. It contained the names of the world's most powerful elite, the Vanderbilts, the Astors, and the architects of the British Empire. Beside their names were not dollar amounts, but measurements in liters of essence. Elias realized a horrifying truth. The Industrial Revolution wasn't just powered by coal and steam. It was steered by a transatlantic cult that harvested the bioelectric energy of the dying to prolong their own lives. London was not just a city, it was a massive, living laboratory for the immortal. Fleeing for his life, Elias took the first steamer across the Atlantic, hoping the ocean would act as a barrier. But on the third night at sea, the ship's engines went silent, and he heard the scratching inside the walls. The carrion men, gentlemen in top hats with eyes that didn't reflect the lantern light, were already watching him from the shadows of the first-class deck. When Elias reached New York, he was framed for a crime he didn't commit and thrown into the infamous Blackwell's Island Asylum. But Blackwell's wasn't a hospital for the mentally ill. It was a warehouse for the Great Harvest. Through the iron bars of his cell, he watched elderly senators enter the facility at midnight. An hour later, they would walk out looking 40 years younger, their skin glowing with a faint, ghostly iridescence. Meanwhile, the poor, the immigrants, and the orphans were vanishing into the living engines built into the island's bedrock. The mystery reached its terrifying climax in 1893, at the Chicago World's Fair. To the public, the White City was a marvel of neoclassical architecture and Thomas Edison's light bulbs. To Elias, who had escaped his captors, the fair was a giant atmospheric conductor. The entire layout of the fairground was a geometric sigil designed to drain the collective awe and vitality of millions of visitors. The infamous serial killer H.H. Holmes and his murder castle were merely a distraction. Holmes was a provider, a butcher for the order, ensuring the fair's hidden gears were always lubricated with fresh blood. On the final night of the fair, Elias infiltrated the Grand Administration Building. Deep in the sub-basement, he found the heart of the machine, a massive, translucent lung brought from the London tomb. As the lights of the fair flared with a blinding, bruised purple intensity, the crowd outside began to feel a strange, soul-crushing exhaustion. Elias struck the central brass pillar with a tuning fork tuned to the frequency of the London bones. The sound was a low, guttural vibration that shattered the machine's hold on reality. In the VIP boxes high above, the gilded leaders shriveled in an instant. Their stolen years caught up to them in a single heartbeat, turning their bodies into grey ash inside their expensive silk suits. The great fire that destroyed the fair shortly after was no accident. It was the Order's way of erasing the evidence of their defeat. Elias Thorne vanished into the smoke that night. But the mechanism he fought still exists. If you walk through the financial districts of London or Manhattan today, listen to the hum of the power lines. When the streets are empty and the city is quiet, you might hear that rhythmic, wet thumping beneath the pavement. The Gilded Age never ended. It just went deeper underground. Sleep well tonight. And stay away from the shadows, because the engine is always hungry for a new, contribute secret.